This is Joe Zanola, and I want to welcome you to the Market Graphics research presentation. This is our new homes market update for the St. Louis region, July 2012. I hope this is helpful to you, and we're going to try to move through this, create a short video for you, and allow you to pause it along the way to look more closely. The items we're going to cover today are the St. Louis update for audit, new home permits, employment, demographics, lot supply, home supply, forecast, and then we'll conclude. Look at the big picture. These are the markets that we cover as part of the Market Graphics group. My company, Zanola Company, focuses on the auditing and updating the markets in the Missouri market, Southwest Missouri, St. Louis, and Central Missouri. This chart shows us how those markets are performing in terms of building homes on a per capita basis. Next chart, I just wanted to show you many of the exciting projects that we're working on a custom level, taking the market graphics research to really project specific. We're doing that for the Market Graphics Network throughout the nation. Really thrilled to be doing that. Some of those projects are shown here. Now we're going to focus on the St. Louis region, the 10 counties that we track on an ongoing basis. Each of those colors within the counties are different submarkets that we use to kind of notate different areas. This is an example of a truck we use to do our auditing. My son drives that, and his driving route throughout the Camden County area. Our research includes a lot of preparatory work in courthouses and our office, gathering permits. But the real hard work is done in the field. We're actually field auditing 3 times a year, all new home communities, undeveloped land, developed lots, homes under construction, homes finished and unoccupied, homes that are finished and occupied. We're looking at the St. Louis market for how are the distribution of homes being built on a price point. You can see that there. Our average price new home, $233,000, and the distribution of homes through each price range. Now we're looking at our current audit results of tracking 1,216 subdivisions with lots totaling 29,235 lots. Of those, in addition to those lots, we're tracking all homes, 2,743 homes, or is our inventory, which is broken down by total of homes that are under construction, 1,535, and homes that are finished and occupied, 1,208. One of the indicators of an improving market, you're going to begin to keep seeing the newly finished home inventory going down, and then you begin to see a turn or an improvement in the homes under construction. We hope that's occurring. We saw it really hanging in that 1,700 and then really drop off, which was surprising in our last audit. So few will know we are seeing a pickup in the homes under construction. So we hope that is a trend, the beginning of a trend that is encouraging. This chart shows our distribution of new homes built on a percentage basis, and you can see how each county is performing. It has nothing to do with the total, just the market share percentage. And then we're looking at the last 4 years, 3 full years and year to date for permits. The 2009, 4,300, 2010, 4,300. Last year finished at 3,187. Year to date last year at this time was 1,251. This year to date 1,394. So that's an improvement, very encouraging. Our permits we published in July. We picked up these permits in June for the month of May. So those are the most recent permits. We're going to quickly look at St. Charles County as far as how all those permits play out over time on an annualized basis. So we kind of had a little push up here in a couple of years ago, mid of May, June, July, that time. We said that was that kind of jump up there was due to a housing incentive pulling buyers forward, and since then it could be interpreted that we've been going through a second recovery, and that second recovery is recovering from the bubble that we had due to the incentive program. Looking now a few slides as far as demographics versus field of dreams. Field of dreams means that we just don't build it anymore when they come. We really have to look at what's going on. Some insightful information for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that we've been discussing for a number of years, and that is kind of a almost reaching a zero growth market. This chart shows that the various areas of growth or loss of population throughout the metropolitan area. But when you put it all together, we're lagging in population growth, and that is an issue that's going to affect many things, including housing market, only growing at 0.2% rate now compared to a nationwide 0.9%. This shows that growth, the population that we have now, in 2011, as of 2011, the distribution of age groups, what's projected forward, and then the age group projections in terms of where the growth or loss is coming due to age migration throughout the area. This chart shows that same aging information, just in terms of comparing each age group on a time frame basis, and we're showing you a few hotspot maps in terms of household income, the years the home built, and the occupied housing value. Moving now to developed lots, supply and demand. Going to look at essentially how we're counting down lots from that 29,000 we're at now, been up to 30, over 35, 36. This chart simply shows by each of the sub-market areas the total supply of lots we have in each area compared to the annual demand. The correct balance is a factor of 2. We'd like to see twice the number of lots as the demand, or half the demand in terms of the available lots. We're well over that, but moving down, we are making the strong point in emphasizing that we are at a time of we're in the market beginning to differentiate between a total quantity of lots and the actual quality of those lots fitting our needs. This chart shows the inactive subdivisions by market graphics area. If you add all these up, it equals around 70+% of all the total markets, all the total subdivisions that we're tracking. It's amazing that a small minority of the subdivisions have exactly 100% share of the market. Moving from the lots and land side to the new home supply and demand, we have a lot to talk about in terms of getting our really working hard to get our supply of homes down over this last several years. Going back to July of 2009, this is the current inventory. Even going farther back than that, you would see a higher level of new homes inventory, and we've just been pushing everything we can to get that down. Very challenging to do that in an environment where these, as shown by these blue bars, that you have a lessening demand. So what this chart shows is a comparison of current inventory to annualized demand, focusing on these lines or gauges that we've added in. Yellow is 20% of the annual demand, and red is 30%. Ideally, home supply should be right at that 20. When you are over that, you have a lot of difficulty in the market and actually really falling values, and it's hard to, which affects all sorts of values in that. We're going to take that chart, which was looking at the entire St. Louis region, and look only at St. Charles County to show you what's going on in the county. This is the total St. Charles County. That is just a little over that 20%. You can see we had a little run up in that demand for that housing incentive area there. It came back down, stabilizing a little up there, and we have a good trend of getting the prices down, the inventory down. Inventory down means increasing values both for new homes and resale, which increases demand. A few parts of St. Charles County we'll look at because they're not all performing the same. This is Area 13, our sub-market that runs along Highway 94. You can see it's touching that red, that 30% line. Area 14, the north central, kind of St. Peter-LaFallon area, right at that 20% line. All these charted items are shown in the numbers down here, so you can actually see the number of closings and the inventory homes directly from our inventory, where they're put on the chart. Area 14B, really good news here. This is the Wentzville area. We've just had a struggle getting the inventory down and getting demand up. We've seen an indication of that happening now. So Wentzville kind of reopening up the market. That is very, very significant news. Now we're moving to our forecast and wondering what's ahead for new home building and for developed lots demand. This chart shows our historical starts going back to 1988 all the way up through what occurred in 2011. You can see the gyrations we went through, and then our forecasts for an improving market going forward. Now, improving, but not, we should be clear that we think we're going to get back to maybe 80,000 homes, 7,500, 8,000 homes a year, compared to what we used to be, kind of sustaining at 10, bumping up to 14. A lot of what we feel like this makes this reasonable is the older community, lots of existing homes in the market, certainly a demand for new homes, but it's more driven by obsolescence, growing household numbers, not so much people moving into the market. Without that population growth that we've had in the past, we feel like we're going to be sustaining in the 7,000 to 8,000 mark going forward. That forecast is broken down into counties here, And we're comparing that to the current lot inventory, so you can kind of count down the lots that are left, presuming we don't bring any board. And it gives you a good way to really look at this in terms of lots that we feel like we're going to be needed for homes each year, and to begin looking at those in terms of the not only the total lots in there, but those lots really fitting what our needs are. We're going to wrap up now and give you a conclusion that's really just going to focus on new home inventories. We've got two ways that we're looking at these items a little differently, kind of pulling some things together more graphically that we kind of touched on in terms of the numerical part in the first part when we were talking about home supply and demand earlier. This is using our map to really look at each report update and talking about showing you the areas that are in or approaching balance in terms of the home supply being in line with demand, having that 20% level that we talked about. You could see, wow, so much of the market had this blue shade over it, and that's good. I essentially put these shades over every place throughout the market that we were in balance, or real close to it in November 2010. Really a good turnaround. We actually had very, very, almost no areas that had the correct balance of home inventory and demand. Moving forward to March 11, took a few off. July 11, a few off. More is good. I'm putting the shades on here where they're in balance. Very few areas, just a couple areas of the county, and Monroe County being in balance end of last year. Got some of those things back in balance in 2012, and then here we are in July of this year. What's very interesting is the movement of these, the changes. We're still in a delicate, very precarious situation. While we do have the supply really down, what's really affecting us now is the swings in demand. Get that demand up, and we get all these areas covered, which I'll kind of show you a version of that with these final four charts here. These charts break down all our market graphics areas numerically. You can see them here, and they all connect to those counties if you want to look at the map. And then our price points. And what we're simply showing by our price ranges, what we're simply showing on this is that the areas that are red, yellow, that pink, those are areas that we have an oversupply. When you begin to see the green show up, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So we're beginning to see some greens right now, and what we're going to do with these charts is project forward for the next 4 months, the next 12 months, and the next 24 months, and see if there is signs that market will improve based on getting to a balance of home supplies and demand. So going forward, see a little bit more green there, 4 months out, 12 months out, more green, and 24 months substantially green. Very encouraging. Now this is a projection predicated on the same level of demand, the same level of building that we have now, without increasing overbuilding or without pulling back on building, without changing demand. So it's just a good way to take what we're doing now and project it forward, and if we can maintain that, that's great. And if we can increase demand, that'll even be greater and get so many more of those places green. With that, I want to thank you very much. This is Joe Zanola signing off with this housing forecast and market research update for Market Graphics for the St. Louis region, July 12. We really thank you for viewing this presentation and look forward to talking to you more. Please ask us anytime about how we can help you turn research into great results. And as always, your calls, referrals, and recommendations are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you soon.